We're back and recovered. That's right. Welcome back to Sister Circle Live. Time is one of our most precious commodities. And yes, we are so happy to have a lot of time with the one and only Calvin Richardson. Y'all bring him out right now. Yes. Come on in, friend. How you doing?
Hello.
You're not gonna get on the couch.
I'm not gonna sit on the couch.
How you doing, Calvin?
You look fantastic.
Thank you. So do you.
Yes. Welcome to the show, my love. Love the boots.
Yeah.
I wish we had
the
a little,
boots are fly.
a little shoe cam, but you know, he looked real good.
Appreciate it.
Where'd you get those?
I have a stylist, Raphael. He always hooked me up. You know, I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to think about it. I just get up and show up.
Yeah, I love those. I need to holler at Raphael.
Raphael.
I mean, I wear a pair of those myself. I think that's really cool.
You rock that?
Yeah.
Something like that?
They're fly, like seriously.
Calvin came out here like, what's happening with you? I love it.
So before we get into your music, let's talk a little bit about your family musical history. And what was it about how you grew up that you said, well, you know, I'm into gospel, but I want to do something different outside of the family?
Well, I was forced into that way of life.
Okay.
I chose this one. You know what I mean? I grew up in the church. My mom singing. My grandmother, she was an evangelist. You know, so that world I couldn't escape until I got old enough to make my own decision.
Right. Were they a little disappointed when you made the decision?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. They were supportive.
Good.
As long as I was using my gift, they was cool with it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's real.
Well, after 2 decades in the business, and obviously being such a prolific writer, which one do you prefer, writing or performing?
I think performing is, you know, that's first nature. You know, writing that's second nature, but the writing is just as important as the performance because you got to have a message, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's very important to me too.
Absolutely, having a message. You worked with Kenneth "Babyface" Evans for Charlie Wilson's single.
Right.
Talk about working with the legend of Babyface.
I mean,
awesome.
it was amazing. Babyface is an incredible, prolific writer. He's just an incredible person. You know, I learned a lot. You know, just being around him. You know, he didn't teach me how to write, but I learned a lot from being around him because I never would sit down and write a song. I would just get on the microphone and just record parts of the song and put it together. And you know, Babyface kind of forced me to sit down and, you know.
Did it make you better as a writer? Did it make you better?
It definitely changed my perspective as a writer, and I don't know if it made me a better writer, but you know, it made me focus on some of the things that maybe I was missing. You know what I mean? And when you can sit down and look at it rather than just let it come out of your head and listen back.
Right. Both of those are great gifts, though.
I mean, it worked for me. You know?
Absolutely.
Let's talk a bit about your new CD, Gold Dust, and you have a new single on there that is entitled "More Than a Woman." Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's actually the new single is titled "Let Me Love on You."
Let me love on you. Okay.
Yeah,
all right. You know what? There is a correction here. Let me correct myself. It is "Let Me Love on You." I'm
Right.
sorry, it wasn't corrected somewhere else, but that's okay.
That's cool.
You got me all the way together. That's fine. So let's talk a little bit about "Let Me Love on You."
Yeah, well, "Let Me Love on You" is, you know, it's basically about you know, a relationship and, you know, being in a relationship. I think the one thing that'll make a relationship better is loving on the person a little bit more, you know, because there's always more room for love. You know, you can't love nobody enough. So, you know, so basically I was just speaking to that because, you know, whether you're a man or a woman, but especially a woman, you know what I mean? You want to be,
women
know
want to
that
be
you're,
loved
of
on,
course, you know. So I built my career writing about stuff like that, and my fan base is obviously female. So
what draws you to writing and performing?
I mean, you know, just living and experiencing things, being around people, and you know, just kind of paying attention to what moves people in life. You know what I mean? Because my mom she taught me at an early age that, you know, what comes from the heart, it goes to the heart. So, you know, if I give you something that comes from here, it's gonna touch you like that when you receive it.
I like that. Your mother is very smart.
She really is.
Yes.
Wow.
Good.
She really is.
Good. Well, you know, in addition to writing lyrics for songs and stuff, you have written a book, Do You Without Them.
I like that. I like the whole thing about it. I didn't even read a word in the book yet, but I like everything about the title.
Tell us about this book and this title.
Yeah, well, you know, the book is basically about how I found success in the music business without having a lot of the things that most people who found success had to have in order to get there. You know, and I've been in the business, like somebody mentioned a little earlier, 20 years, 2 decades now, and so a lot of younger artists will come up to me, or not even come up, they reach out to me on social media and ask me for advice or how I got to this place or how they can get there. And so, you know, rather than try to answer everybody's question, because you know, you can't always give them the answer that they're necessarily looking for. I can only tell them how I did what I did. I decided to put it in a book that's just chronicle my journey from the beginning to where I am right now.
Well, what was the hardest struggle? Obviously, you were able to kind of circumvent some of the things that people in the industry have been through. But what did you struggle with, if any? Well, it looked like you won.
It took a while.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the win, when you start out, is when you get into business. When you get that opportunity. You know what I mean? And if things don't go your way right away, you know, sometimes you take it as a loss, but it's just a part of the journey. And I think that was the hardest thing for me, because, you know, I came in with my expectations were very high. I thought the business was going to give me something. You know what I mean? Right away as a stardom, and, you know, saying the money and everything like that. But I was overlooking the most important thing that it was giving me along the way was the lessons.
Yes, there we go. There we go. People, they overlook that part all the time, and that's why you said, let me write it.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's good stuff.
Well, Calvin, we want to thank you so much for joining us here at the Circle, and we wish you nothing but the absolute best. And listen, guys, if you want to get his new book, you can also find it on Amazon.com, and his album is going to hit all shelves and anywhere albums and music are streaming or sold on October 25th.
That's right. Thank you so much, Calvin, and make sure you follow him on Instagram. Give it up for Calvin Richardson, everybody.